We were fed the lie around Moriori. We were fed the lie that Māori had chased Moriori out of Aotearoa. We were fed the lie Moriori were dark-skinned, flat noses, stupid people. It was almost like justifying the elimination of them.
Yeah, no, a social studies teacher basically started talking about Moriori. I didn't really intervene, I just sort of went, wow, this would be interesting. She started teaching the class about the Moriori and how they'd become extinct, and that when a baby was born, if it cried, it was eaten. And I just remember thinking, wow, this is actually what they're teaching in schools.
The great suffering of Moriori throughout history, to just about the loss of everything. But hey, there was hope. And today, we're an iwi that are thriving.
I think it's the most beautiful place in the world. It's different at every corner. Kaingaroa in the northeast is white sand beaches and schist. Something out of a picture book, really. You come around a corner and there'll be a bay that you'd expect to see 100 people on that beach, and there's never anyone there. You travel across to the northwestern corner at Port Hutt, and it's secluded bays and rocky outcrops, and it's raw beauty. You come around to Waitangi, it's red volcanic bluffs and tan sand, completely different from any other corner. And then over the south coast, it's 1,200–1,300 foot high cliffs, vertical in places, really rugged coastline that look out over the other islands in the archipelago. This is a hard place to live. And people live here, and live here well. It's busy, for lack of a better word. You won't find many people on this island that don't have more than one hat. They're all doing something else. They've got a day job and then they've got another day job on their off days or weekends or whatever. Yeah, everyone's an engineer, everyone's a mechanic, and if you're not, someone in your family is. If you need help, you can get it pretty easily, and vice versa. If someone needs help, you shelf what you were doing and you go and help. It's an awfully lonely place if you're a dick, yeah. We always knew we were Moriori, and it took a while to grow to be proud of that. Pākehā narrative was Ngāti Tama and Ngāti Mutunga came in here and they wiped out an entire population of people, and now they're extinct. The Moriori narrative is we pleaded for help and no help came. They weren't warfarers, they hadn't been for generations, and perhaps it might have been to their detriment even worse. You have to admire the resilience that they showed to stick to their Nanuku's covenant and our law of peace. And I guess when things kicked off with the two tribes that had arrived, they reduced their numbers from near thousands to less than 200. We lost our language. We lost our art forms. But it's less about what's happened. I'm not looking backwards, I want to look forwards. Yes, what happened happened, but we were not extinct. And those people that are still here, holding down the fort, and holding down the fort hard.
Moriori had poppy groves, and they weren't just haphazardly put there. Poppy trees were grown like orchards because they had a lot of spiritual and cultural significance. The rākau Māori were very important, not only to memorialise their loved ones or acknowledge those important peoples, but they were also a form of telling stories. And just seeing how it's still there after this time is, you know, absolutely amazing. Carving and those images, just like weaving, are all forms of the transmission of knowledge from generation to generations. I've spent many years on this kaupapa and been a holder of Te Tohungatanga Moriori knowledge. A lot of my weaving is really all about telling stories. It's not just about making something, it's about weaving life into, or weaving breath into something tangible that has meaning and significance. The revival of our traditional practices, it may not be a traditional practice. It may come into a traditional practice using contemporary thought and techniques, but the stories never change. I hope to think there'll be 100 or 200 or 300 more, or all our Moriori, fluent in our language, confident and strong in our arts and our art of storytelling. These little things that we try and we express and we bring life back into, all contributes to that revival.
Yeah, it's been a long time gone. I think it's been 15 years in Perth at least, but every time I come home, I teach music at the school. Growing up down here, it's either fishing, farming, building, you know. So to be doing music full time is quite a dream. So to spread that amongst the youth, and they love it, man, you know. It's not to make, you know, 60-odd rock stars or anything, you know. It's just purely for just the enjoyment of music. Music is stories, and stories are everything here too, you know? It's definitely integral to Moriori people and the rebirth of culture, you know? So I help to regenerate karaki or rongo from the 1800s, put music to them and re-release them in a modern format. So rongo is a song, or it means in peace as well, you know. which is the big message of the Moriori people. First thing I go to actually is trying to capture all of these different elements and aspects. Running from the ocean, through to the land, to the air and the wind, all the way through to community, you know. The Moriori people, that's all they really had around them, eh? So that's what I guess they based their rongo off.
Tamihitara. Nunuku whenua. Rongo comes in many different forms. Rongo is not just through what we hear, but it's also rongo comes from within. And what we experience and we feel externally, it connects us to the etu which are the elements, the everything around us. If we were to give this a name, it would be rongo ata. And rongo, obviously about calmness and peace and the senses. When I was verbalising the name of each etu and some karapuna, at the end I carry through on the same resonance. And the set of movements that have just been performed is connecting all of those. So yes, ha is the exhaling, but what encapsulates all of that is ho, hold on.
I don't think I knew anything about the Chathams growing up. I met Hayden when we were 18. Hayden was the person who was there for our children. He was working as well, but he was there helping our kids grow up. And then I was working full time. So Hayden grew up not knowing how to count in the language of his ancestors. And I didn't want that to be the same for my children and for the children of Rēkohu. So the language is in a state of revival. And I thought, what story can I create to get that language into as many households as I could? But most importantly, to teach my children that simple starting look into Tārai Moriori, the language of the Moriori.
Yeah, it looks kind of like the ones at home, hey?
Right now, I am writing children's books. I have one published book that came out in 2022 called One Weka Went Walking. It's a picture book. And I've written 2 more books, and again, they're based on the Chatham Islands. One is about endemic insects, and the other is one that is going to help people learn about Tārai Moriori. It's really, really exciting to be thinking that I can do something that can help people understand a little about a culture and a people that is part of and have always been part of New Zealand's history.
My wife has got a vested interest, of course, her children are Moriori. If Pākehā want to get involved and they have an expertise that we need, then at no point will they be turned away. As far as being Moriori now, it's kind of our job as leaders to lift everyone around us up. But as far as taking other people on that journey now, there's a lot of people that didn't know they were Moriori until recently.
That was erected particularly for this one tree.
To see that awakening and that, holy crap, this is where my people lived, it's an honour to be a part of.
You know, I'd have no clue about any of it if he wasn't there. Been all over the country. I've been to Australia, been to Rarotonga. And there was something different about this place. Just felt like I belonged here.
I had a different sense of confidence and empowerment walking into those spaces. That's really grown me spiritually, and I'm proud to be Moriori.
We really did just open arms and make sure that they knew at least one Rongo, they could sing a song, they could, you know, they felt like they belonged. You know, we can't change history, but we can start shaping the future, and that's the direction I prefer to look.
The Moriori people are still going strong, and obviously the bloodlines are watered down, but just like any bloodline or anything, you know. But we're still going strong, we're still creating music and art and rejuvenating culture.
We are here to do everything we can based on what we bring to revitalise and regenerate Tare Moriori.
We are very much in times of revival. This is a land and a people of peace. Haurongo, haurongo, hoko menatai, me rongo.
Manaka mai, ta tira I uta. Manaka mai, ta whiau I uta. Manawa mai, ta tira I uta. Manaka mai, ta ka I uta. Kauo e uia mai I rupu take mere pu kere kere Kia mahuta ai tēnā tā ki mahuta te kawa E taina tu takina, takina Uia he